Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakah Kadash. God bless the apostles and elders, great most honorable well. Shalom to the brothers doing the work of sharing the truth. Gonna get into a lesson just on, how Israel, they once that fine lustrous gold, but as I'm about to read, the gold became dim, and those that are going to be saved, those are the elect, they're going to essentially have to restore that for them to be saved. That's through salvation's force, those that become that fine gold once again. So I read this, Lamentations 4:1. How was the gold become dim? How was the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out on the top of every street. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers, the works of the hand of the potter? And yeah, for Israel, for the men of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native American Indians, there was once a time where they were that fine gold. They were revered in and among the heathen. They were revered in the world. They were revered among Israel, because there was that point in time they conducted themselves in that manner. But you don't even have to go. You go to the modern day. That's something that's completely ceased to be, and it's really that ancient state they were in. Jake's been disconnected from it so much they don't even know those Jakes. They didn't even know they were Israel. Now they're thinking of themselves as blacks, as Africans, where they're basically trying to find a root that don't exist. But like I said, they were esteemed as earthen pitchers, and that's really the state they're still in. But by and large, most Jake are of no regard. But hey, the Lord's basically working to restore those men. This is what happened. Hosea 1:8 says, Now when she weaned Leruhamah, she conceived and bare a son. Then said then said the Most High, call his name lower me, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your power. Yeah, that's essentially the discord, the breakdown in the relationship. Because what happened was Israel, as they basically did not uphold their part of the covenant. They failed to keep their promise. That resulted in what? Them essentially being shunned, the Most High not dealing with it. And that's the key relationship that needs to be repaired. And it's because of what needs to be done to regain that. And that's why it's once again, those that get into that gold state, that fine gold, man, they're the ones who are going to be saved. I'll read this as well. Verse 10, Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in that place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living power. So yeah, that state's going to be restored in the face of the whole world, to where what? They're going to know. In the face of, they're going to know what? Who Israel is, man. They're going to have that title restored unto them, and it's going to be acknowledged. Because as far as for now, we're out. It's been acknowledged on a small level, but it's going to be on a grand scale. So I read this, Luke 1:68 said, Blessed be the Most High power of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. And that horn of salvation needed was why? With the relationships broken down. As far as for Israel to receive salvation, we need to be saved. We're something that we're not able to do, man. You got people now that they're putting together plans. Eventually, one day, what's his name's gonna build that? Dr. Umar's gonna build that school, and then black people will be saved. Until the day that school's built, the black can't be saved. But now in reality, what? We have need. That's why Yahushua was sent. we needed salvation. It says what? Have raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. So part of it is being saved from our enemies, which we need, man. Until Dr. Umar School gets here, then, you know. It says what? To perform the mercy promised to our fathers and to remember his holy covenant. So those are promises and the covenant. That's the key part. Because we failed in fulfilling it, but hey, that's why Yahushua was sent on the sea. Because otherwise, you know, the Lord's word would have gone out void. But to receive it, Matthew 7:13, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many be which go in thereat. Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. So as far as for salvation, it's something where it's straight, it's narrow. It's not something that's easy to be found. Destruction's something that's easy to be found. By and large, most people out here, they're basically in a state where they've been destroyed, man. They don't have an awareness of the state of the world. They don't have an awareness of how to live in a healthy manner, conducive for them to you know, be in a sane state of mind. They're basically out here just doing whatever they're doing, living life, enjoying themselves, engaging with whatever is put onto them, man. But then, as far as for what? For salvation, for the truth, hey, you need that, essentially, it to be shown to you, man. They need the Spirit, essentially, to work with you, for you to receive it. So what to say? John 10:25. Yahushua answered them, I told you, and ye believe not. You know, I'll read one verse above. So it says, John 10:24, then came the Jews round about him, and said unto him, how long dost thou make us to doubt? If thou be the anointed, tell us plainly. Yahushua answered them, I told you, and ye believe not. The works that I do in my Father's name. They bear witness of me, but ye believe not, because ye are not of my sheep, as I said unto you. My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And yeah, so for you to be in that number, you need to be one of those sheep. And as far as it's like being among that number, it says what? My sheep hear my voice. So you hear the words, you hear, you know, the song being sung, then it's got to sound goodly to you. If you're hearing this, you know, you hear the word, and you know, you're turning up your lip, you're screwing your face up, you're getting emotional, you know, you're getting ready to say, no, but that's not true, then, you know, you're not counted among those sheep. That's why it's like a lot of those in the church, it's not for them, they're not going to receive it, man. You break it down to them plainly, you show them in the scriptures, they don't get it, man, it's too much. But, hey, there's the chosen, man, there's the elect, where they'll hear it. It says, what, verse 28, and I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. My Father which gave them me is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand. So yeah, they've basically been set, they've been anointed to that position where they'll be those sheep, and hey, they'll basically not be able to be deceived, to be hoodwinked, you know, to be led astray. Because why? They're basically going to be there. They're going to be preserved unto the end, man. I read this. Mark 8:34. And when he had called the people unto him with his disciples also, he said unto them, whosoever will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Yeah. So you got to what? You got to deny yourself. And that's something that most people in the world aren't willing to do. Especially those that have any form of success, fame, riches, they'll think that that ego is what comes with that. A lot of people, once they get money, they get fame, they get success, they'll think, yo, they'll think they're someone special, someone, in a state of high regard. But what's the real? The real is when the time of judgment comes, if you're not counted among that number, if you're not among the elect, it's open season, man. Anything you've built up, it's going to be of no value. It says what? For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, but whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it. And that's a big part of what this word's about, man. As far as what the riches we're building up are in heaven, man. We're building up things that are going to be of regard in the kingdom of heaven. As far as for now, it's seen as no value. It's funny because even in this society, gold is looked at as inferior as far as the coin is compared to like fiat currencies, man. To paper money. Paper money is seen as superior to gold. So it's funny, gold's not in regard. It's seen as an investment for some, but then even as others, what they'll look at it like, oh no, stocks and bonds will be superior. But that regard for gold, that's going to return. Because it's going to get to a point where this monetary system is not able to, it's going to creak and strain and collapse under the weight of all the unjust weight. So I read this. Ephesians 4:20 says, "But ye have not so learned Yahushua, if so be that ye have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Yahushua. That ye put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lusts, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that ye put on the new man, which after the Most High is created in righteousness and true holiness." So yeah, with being restored to that fine gold, you basically have to put off the old man. Because being out in the world, unaware of what's going on, you're essentially what? You're a product of this society, man. Your mindset, your views, your conduct, all those things are painted essentially in the colours of this society. But that's all we need to put off, man. We're basically going back to our righteous state, man. That new man. It says, wherefore, verse 24, that you put on the new man, which after the Most High is created in righteousness and true holiness. Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members of one of another. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath, neither give place to the devil. Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the things which is good, that he may have to give to him that needeth. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of the Most High, whereby you are sealed unto the day of redemption. Yeah, so essentially meant to completely switch up your conduct, man. Because when you've basically been made as a product of this world, then your lying is like breathing to people in the world, man. There's a term, little white lie, which is essentially trying to paint a lie as something done for the good. But that's essentially the nature of this society. Wickedness being, having a PR team work on it, so it's presented as righteousness. So I read this, 1 Corinthians 15:50 says, "Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption." And yeah, flesh and blood can't inherit that carnal mindset, that carnal of this world mindset, that's not, you ain't gonna be able to function like that in the kingdom. If you're to take your average Jacob that's around on the scene now and stick them in the kingdom, man, that's gonna be a blight upon it. And as far as for Israel, the state they're meant to be in, they're meant to be the rulers of that, man. They're meant to be in the leadership over it. You can't be having, just a grimy Negro crawling around, man. So it's essentially about what? Those new bodies. It says, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. And that change is essential, because we're basically moving from the first covenant, the old covenant that was made with Moses, that Israel was unable to fulfill. And we're moving to the new covenant, where essentially what? We'll have the laws put inside our bodies, to where we lack the capability to go off to sin. And we're perfectly righteous. It says, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. But thanks to the Most High, which giveth us victory for our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. Yeah, so through Yahushua, that's how we get the victory. That's how we're basically given the pathway to salvation and to getting those new bodies, to getting a new covenant, where what? We have that mediator. Essentially, Yahushua bridged the gap between us who passed away and the Most High, so that, hey, essentially the kingdom can be brought into the kingdom. So I read this, Hebrews 8, well, I'll start from verse 5. It says, who serve unto the example and shadow of heavenly things. Well, I'll start from 4. It says, for if he were on earth, he should not be a priest, seeing that there are priests that offer gifts according to the law, who serve unto the example and shadow of heavenly things, as Moses was admonished of the Most High when he was about to make the tabernacle. For see, saith he, that thou make all things according to the pattern showed thee in the mount. Yeah, so essentially what we were given was a shadow of things to come, a shadow of the heavenly things, man. It was a stopgap essentially for what we'll get in the kingdom of heaven. Because what we're given was what? Rehearsal. We're essentially fulfilling what we could fulfill in these current bodies, but it was known what? That there would have to be the falling away. That essentially Israel would be cast away, and then Yahushua had to be brought in to, to graft us back in, to bring it back together. Same for those, for the northern kingdom, for them to be brought back in. It says what? Verse 6. But now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is a mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon the better promises. For if the first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. Yeah. The first covenant, Israel was unable to keep it, so there was a need for a new one. For finding fault with them, he saith, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. Yeah. So the first covenant that was made, they weren't able to continue it. They weren't able to fulfill. Jacob fell off, man. And then what? Regard them not. Verse 10. For this is the covenant that I will make with... Did I finish that? I regarded them not. Yeah, for this is a covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they will be to me a people. Yeah. So essentially you have the laws within them, so there's no capability to go off. Because that's essentially, that was the issue with the first one. Jake went off, man, they'll break the laws, then what he even actually put in as a whipping stick to get Jake back in order. Then that was stopped, and then it was Yahushua was brought in, and the new covenant was made from that, through his sacrifice. So I'll finish on this. Isaiah 13 and 11 says, Isaiah 13 and 11, and I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and I will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man in the golden wedge of Ophir. Yeah, those men is talking about what? The elect. Those of the elect, they're doing that fine gold. Because that's basically the state you need to be in to get into the kingdom, man. Where you have your body changed, then what? Those don't wanna get down, 2/3 they're gonna have to be done away with and then come back in their right mind. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Say praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Shem Kadash, Shalom.